Hi. I have worked with a few people in the social work class. So I'm just as a guess, if you're in that social work class, I can show you some of the things that I've shown some of the other students, so you can get it done. Because I think it was due on Sunday, so I want to make sure and help you out with that. So I'm just going to do a little starter video just in case you're in that class. From the Marriott Library homepage, um, libutah.edu, you can go to databases, and the one that has turned out to be the best over all of them is called API. I think it's called PsycInfo with the P. I'll show you. So under the letter P, PsycInfo by APA. Maybe that's what it's called. It used to be a lot easier to find. It's not Psych Articles. There we go. PsycInfo from the APA. That's the one. And I'll show you why it's so great for this assignment, if this is your class. Okay, so this database is all psychology, and so it's all about disorders that show up in the diagnostic, the DSM, and it is interventions. So disorder would be postpartum depression, right? And an intervention might be counseling, it might be a medicine, and then there's outcomes, like the medicine made a certain percentage of people well and that sort of a thing. So that's the PICO, the population. Population would be, I suppose, women who have just had babies. But it could also be that they're looking at other other parts of the family that are with it. So I'll show you how to negotiate all of those different things. So if you go to advanced search, the cool thing about advanced search is it allows you to separate the population, the disorder from outcomes and the intervention and all of that other stuff. And it's easier to think about. So postpartum, and if you just start typing stuff in, you can see it. Postpartum depression. For this one, I'd recommend putting it in quotes. That way it'll look for postpartum and depression, those two words stuck together. Wherever it's looking in the database, it's going to look for those two words stuck together. And then I remember we needed to have one of them be, it had to be a specific thing. Randomized controlled trial. Or quasi, what was it? Oh, I forget the name of that one. But you would put that after the or. Maybe I should do another line. Quasi experimental design. That's the one I want. I'm just going to cheat and put it up here. And you want both of those in quotes too. So it's going to look for every article in this psychology database for postpartum depression. And then out of all of the articles that it pulls back on postpartum depression, it's going to look for the ones that have that randomized control trial or quasi-experimental. And then let me show you all of the different options that you have to work with. I am freezing. I am out in my garage. And normally I have the heater on, but I got warmed up and now I'm freezing. So one thing to be aware of is some of these are dissertations. And if this is for that social work class, you just want academic journals. So each one of these might work, but it depends on some of the other things that you were looking at. Is your population women who have just had a baby? I think for postpartum depression, most of the population is going to be about that. Do you have a particular intervention? So for example, here is mindfulness, which might also be cognitive behavioral therapy. This one is just an education program. This one is a prevention. This is one where we have nurses who are specially trained with parenting problems, eMoms Plus. That's cute. I like that. So what is your intervention, and does that matter? It might not, but all of these articles would be related to that assignment in the social work class, if that's the class that you're working for. And I think I'm hoping it is. If you find an article that has PDF full text, if you click on that, you should be able to see the full text of the article. And let me show you how you can look around. So you're comparing two articles. That right? Yeah, I think so. You're comparing two articles. What I would recommend is go through just this first page of the article and see if you can find what's called a methodology. And if you find a methodology, on this one, it's so small. I'm going to move my head. Oh, here we go. Randomized control. I'm looking at this right here. Randomized control trial conducted in 14 community health centers. Oh, and it's interesting that it's pregnant adolescents, so teenagers pretty much. And so what you would do is you could say, look at the ways that they looked at that, and then you could even go out to Google and say randomized control trial, and you could see how that was defined just in Wikipedia. And that might help you understand what's going on. I think essentially a randomized control trial is where they study a bunch of people who all have the same disorder, postpartum depression, and they treat some of them, they don't treat other ones, and then they look at the outcomes at the end. But I think it's just comparing the methodologies, the strengths and the weaknesses of that sort of a thing. What I wanted to show you though is, whoops, I should let it load. Okay, after it loads, down the right-hand side, you can see population. This will show you, this one, since there's so few of them, most of them are female. But if you're interested in looking at how the male partner can deal with it or support that sort of a thing. Methodology is another one that you could look at. And these also, even though we have randomized control trial, it could be specifically one of these. And so if you wonder what you've got with your article, again, you could go out to the open web and you could say, well, what is a clinical trial? What is a quantitative study? What is an interview? And does that gather data in a different way? And I think when you compare those, it's just as simple as that. If you run across an article that has this right here, where it says find it and view it, but it doesn't say full text, you can email me the information of the article and I'll try and track it down for you. But what'll happen when you click on that is it will send you either to the article or it will send you to the library catalog and a list of databases that you can find the article in. Oh, or a list of a single database that this is in. And then you would click on that. And hopefully it would put you in the article. If it doesn't, and you want to find the article, email me the citation information, and I will do my best to track down the article for you and send it to you. Since we're on a short deadline, I'm happy to help out with stuff like that. Oh, it did put me in the article. Okay, so that's not so bad. Many of these databases have a little citation generator right here. And this database has a citation generator when you click in the article. There's this little thing right here that says cite. And that will give you the APA citation, which is just right here. So you can use that. They're correct most of the time. Every now and then there'll be something to fix, but this one looks correct. But I think it's pretty useful to use that in your paper. Okay. let me know how it goes. I'm happy to help. I'll keep my eye on email because I know the assignment, if it's in the social work class, the assignment's due on Sunday. And I can help because I'm helping other people this weekend too. So it's not a problem at all. I hope this helps. Have a good one.